So this is why I wrote the play Extreme Weather, because I believe that art can open people's hearts and minds, and then they're ready to engage in the kind of heated debate that's going on at our festivals of conscience and in the lobby right now with James Hansen, where people are sharing ideas and arguing about the best way to reduce CO2 emissions into the atmosphere and getting on board with the program. And it's because they've seen a play. It's so wonderful that a play can turn people on to really wanting to move and be active in the world. And it's also wonderful that a play can memorialize and give credibility to and give iconic stature to the struggle of climate scientists to tell the truth and what they've been through as they move from pure research into the public arena, trying to present solutions to the public. And Jim Hansen is one of the exemplars of this, he began as a researcher, he began as a public figure, and now he's really an inspiration and an activist. Yeah.
Well, you know, I started to say that capitalism is not the enemy, because we actually need economic development, because we have to lift the half of the world which is still in poverty out of poverty. It will only solve the population problem if we do that.
I'm interested in this problem of how art and theater particularly can alter the way people view the problem and see themselves as acting on this problem. And I have a middle school daughter who reads all these dystopian books, and there's a weird way that there's a kind of acceptance of a future that is unbearable. And then there's also this idea that, oh, it's okay, we don't have any effect, everything will go on and be wonderful. And in the space between that is work like yours, where you're saying, this is what's happening, this is what's taking us from Eden to dystopia. We can act. And yet, you know, there's only 3 dozen of us in here.
Yeah, there is a lot of censorship, not only of the science, but also of the art that speaks to the science. We raised the money for this play from individuals, not from foundations. Not because we didn't try foundations. We are still going to try to raise more money so that we can bring it to a larger audience. We don't know if we'll be successful with that. The one foundation that says that they fund particularly plays about science is the Sloan Foundation, and they are the same foundation that fund Richard Linsden's chair of meteorology at MIT, and he is retired now, he's gone on to a right-wing think tank, but he was one of the major climate deniers in the country. He's the model for Lindsay in the play, and that is a direct quote from him about God controlling the weather. I took that directly from his mouth. So the Sloan Foundation says they fund plays about science. They wouldn't touch this play in a very nasty way, turned it down twice, and they are actually funding fossil fuel denial. So a lot of that is going on. Also, I think you know, the way that art, I mean, when you're talking about dystopian novels, which I frankly don't like, you know, because of exactly what you said. It's sort of, okay, this is the way the future is going to be, and then we'll all kill each other, we'll eat our meat, and we'll, you know, everything, and how exciting that is. That again is part of controlling people. If you control the culture, you control how people imagine and how people think. So the culture is, you know, being controlled in its financial control, what gets published, what gets well reviewed, and then what gets pushed. There's also, I think, I'm sorry to go on just one more thing, I think in the theater we're still in the McCarthy era, in the sense that what was told to people because of McCarthyism is that political art is bad art, period, the end. And so often, you know, when you hear, oh, this is a political play, which, you know, of course, every good play has a worldview, right? And a worldview is what makes a good play. You know, what keeps us going is the belief that there's an audience, and that's why I keep saying, please tell people, please help us build that audience. That will make a big difference in terms of funding. We went through a whole thing about should we be reviewed or not. Our last play, which was about the U.S. torture program, we did not allow critics in because we didn't feel that any of the theater critics that we knew enough about the torture program to comment intelligently on a play that, like this play, was based on fact. It was also a poetic play. This play we decided to allow the critics in, and they are going to come, or at least some of them are going to come, and so you can stay tuned and see how that works out for us. But we did that because we thought after the climate march, surely, you know, there is some kind of sense of the importance of this moment that we share, and that this would be a good moment to drop this play, hopefully into a larger cultural discussion.